heavyweight champ spars with an all-time champ of everything from shooting pool to breaking up the nation over television. The man who can do anything, Jackie Gleason.
My guest, a most unusual man. Writer, actor, director, comedian, composer, conductor, producer, and dancer. All this, Jackie Gleason.
You're not going to say anything about my parachute jumping?
I didn't know about that.
Well, watch that, Rock.
Jack, we've got a lot of talking to do. Jackie, I heard a strange and interesting story about you and a guy I know. It happened at a little bar in Jersey a long time ago.
I have made a few mistakes in my life, and that was one of the big ones. I was working at a joint called the Miami Club in Newark, and it was a real tough joint. As a matter of fact, they called it the Bucket of Blood. And one night, I was doing the show, and there was a little fat, bald-headed guy at the ringside. And every time I came out to introduce an act or tell a joke, he would say something derisive, you know, nasty. And I was heisting a few at the time. And I said to the owner of the joint, I said, that guy is driving me nuts. I said, now, if he doesn't stop, I'm going to take care of him. So I came out and another time, and he began to heckle. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, will you excuse me for a moment? I would like to invite this gentleman to step out on Clinton Avenue, and I'd like to take good care of him, and then we can do the show without any interruptions. I never saw anybody get up as fast as this guy did. Now we get out on Clinton Avenue. I said, now you're gone, and that's the last I remember. The next thing that I recall, I was on the floor of the cellar next to the furnace. A doctor was there, the owner of the joint, and they had brought me through too, and I said to him, who was that guy? He says, that was Tony Galento. I said, did you know it was Tony Galento? He said, sure. I said, well, why didn't you tell me? He said, well, you're a wise guy. You know, I thought I'd let you go up against him. But that was really a big mistake. Did you ever fight him?
No, Jackie, but you picked on the roughest, toughest street fighter in the fight game.
Yeah, but you know, a funny thing about fighters, Rock, with the exception of Galento, I think fighters are the most gentle people I've ever met. Now, when I went up to train with you in Massachusetts, I had never met a gentler man. And Sugar Ray, I think, is a very gentle guy. In this same place, the Miami Club in Newark, I worked with Mickey Walker. He worked in the club. He had an act. Never met a more gentle fellow. I met Jack Johnson, who was working in Newark at the time, at another club, a very gentle man. I think that the reason that is that if a fighter has a beef or has any steam that he wants to get off, he waits till he's in the ring and paid for it.
That's right.
They're all gentlemen.
Jack, in preparing for a fight, we usually watch the movies of the opponent that we're going to face and watch his style of fighting many, many times to get sort of like an idea of what to do to our opponent. We get his good points, his faults, what he does under pressure, things to watch out for, best punches to use. Now, it helps us an awful lot. Your characters, the way you do the characters, you do them so perfect.
A long time ago, I had found that one character can't do all types of comedy because if he tries to, he begins to press, and also it's not sympathetic with the way he performs. So I thought that the best way to enter all fields of particular kinds of comedy was to have a character that did a particular kind of comedy. For instance, Reggie Van Gleason is the loud, boisterous, hokey comedian. And the poor soul is the one that handles the nice and kind and generous kind of comedy. And Charlie Bratton, the loudmouth, is the epitome of the man who's insecure and takes it out on the little guy, Clem Finch. And of course, the Honeymooners is the guy that's struggling to make a living and keep a family together and be a hero in his wife's eyes. And of course, he has that beautiful neighbor, Art Connie, who I think belongs with all of the great champions.
Yeah. Jack, I've made up a pair of golden gloves, my good luck charm. I like all my guests to keep as a reminder that the road to the top is a long one, and you've got to keep punching to get there, and you've got to punch to stay there.
Thank you very much, Rocky. I appreciate this, and I'll cherish it. I'd also like to say that it's always a pleasure to be on a program or associated with a champion. And in my mind, you're one of the greatest champions of all times. So this has been one of the most pleasurable occasions of all times for me.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you, Rocky.